Hello, my name is Ashley Estrella, and I will be explaining why nurses deserve better pay. So let's dive into it. So I want you to imagine yourself walking into this emergency room. There's a room filled of patients who are severely sick that all need the same level of care, and you are coming into the emergency room either for yourself or along with a loved one. So you see that there's only one nurse or two nurses available for a room filled of patients. So what I really want you to take away from this is that as the nursing field, as it's currently trending towards, is going to lead to a high demand of patients needing care, but not enough nurses available to provide that care. So let's dive into ultimately why nurses deserve better pay and how it connects to this picture. So I want to give you this table to reference. So this table is referencing a variety of 10 states within the US. That is what the projected supply and demand of nurses that is needed for the year of 2030. And as you can see, there is typically about 20,000 to 30,000 gap in between the supply that's currently there for nurses, the amount of nurses ready to work in the nursing field compared to the demand. So that's a pretty big gap, leading to thousands of nurses needed for patient care. And as stated by Dr. Matthew McHugh in a study that he conducted in 2014, that 95% of the care that you're receiving within a hospital setting comes from your nurses versus doctors. So nurses are doing the real legwork within the hospital care setting to care for these patients. And as the demand goes higher for nurses within a hospital care setting, but the actual supply is decreasing, we're coming into big issues, ultimately leading to patient ratios. So what's displayed right now is what the safe staffing ratio is for nurse to patients. So depending on the setting of where that nurse is currently practicing is displaying what the safe ratio is. For instance, within a trauma patient in the ER, one nurse to one patient. Or if you're in a well baby nursery unit, then it's one nurse per six patients. So as you can see, the max to one nurse should be 6 patients in a lower acuity level. And that's not going to be so feasible. It's not even feasible now, as hospitals are leaning more towards nursing cuts due to nursing shortages, as well as budget cuts that the hospitals are unable to really pay for overall. So budget cuts that may have resulted in other departments is ultimately leading to tighter nursing staffing ratios. So because of these tight nursing staffing ratios, we're leading to larger workloads and ultimately leading to nurse burnout. So nurse burnout is the overwhelming feeling of taking care of these patient loads. Unfortunately, in the nursing care profession, we can't put off certain care that a patient needs to the next day, like you would with a certain project deadline if you were working within a small business or company. It's not feasible. Your nurses are working on a 24-hour basis. So care is needed 24 hours, and humans their body's working 24 hours. So there's no way to shut down a patient for a couple hours so you can get proper rest as a nurse. And ultimately, nurse burnout was present before the pandemic. And after the pandemic of 2020, that really led to it to be exacerbated, as described by Nina Chamorro in her article of how U.S. hospitals are paid, and why how U.S. hospital nurses are paid, and why it's currently an issue. So this really is a reflection on the current demands that our nurses are being forced upon to really face on a day-to-day basis, and that's leading to ultimate fatigue. And due to these large amounts of burnout and not enough resources or support on the floor, it's really leading to a lot of these nurses leaving the work field. So either the demand is not enough, or there's not enough nursing schools pumping out enough nurses ready for the work field, but it's also the large amount of burnout that's leading to a lot of nurses leaving the work field. So what I ultimately want to do is ask everybody here if they're really ready to help support these nurses. If you're a patient in a hospital setting, make them feel appreciated so they're able to feel more inspired to work, but also help support those nurses within the community. When the time arises for you to vote for higher pay, or for nurses to feel better supported when they are on strike, for instance, across the nation, make sure that you're coming out to support these nurses as well for their better pay, better life, and better work environments. Thank you.